Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, and welcome to episode 163 of Dude and a Monkey. My name's Ian Loring, and as always, I am joined by
Mark Foster. Hello, everybody.
And this is our Blacksploitation episode, where we're going to be covering a number of the films of Shane Black. So we're going to take, or at least films that he was involved in. We're going to take a look at, in chronological order, The Last Boy Scout, Last Action Hero, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, and The Nice Guys. That's right, isn't it?
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
it is. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
93, 2005, and 2016, I believe.
There we go. Nice. So yeah, should be interesting. We were going to do the Long Kiss Goodnight as well, but the copy I managed to obtain seemed to be in Russian.
Yeah,
So,
I have on previous occasions obtained that same copy.
yes. So never mind. But yeah, Blaxploitation. That'll probably be it for the show, to be honest. And then
I've watched nothing else. So
yeah, so we'll do a regular show next week, I think. So, Mark, any trailers this week or anything else you want to talk about?
No trailers. Well, no, there is one trailer. I watched the Yoga Hoses trailer.
Yeah, that was
yeah. I noticed that they're pitching it already as being the worst film ever made.
Yeah.
It's with the marketing, which seems a little bit like, for a start off, why bother making it then if you know it's going to be shit?
Mm-hmm.
But also seems a little bit like them trying to kind of be retroactively clever.
Yeah, but I kind of get the feeling they would have done that with Tusk if they kind of knew what they had.
Yeah, it's... I all the way through the trailer, I was watching it going, I don't see how that anybody involved in this thought it was a good idea, other than Johnny Depp's kid and Kevin Smith's kid decided that they wanted to have a movie made about them.
Yeah, I mean, I genuinely, I don't think I'll even get to it.
I will get to it out of just pure curiosity, but I will be amazed if it is anything sort of above a 4 out of 10. If this movie's a 5 out of 10, I'll be like, do you know what? For that alone, it will be in my honourable mentions.
If it's more than 1.5 out of 10, I'll be impressed.
Yeah. It just looks... it looks like it doesn't even know what it's trying to do itself. To be honest.
No, I mean, it looks embarrassing. I would almost feel sorry for Kevin Smith. It wasn't the fact that it's all entirely his own doing.
Yes, it is on this one. Yeah, he's got no defence on this one at all. And the thing is, it worries me because he's making sequels to 2 of his films that I actually really, really love, and it worries me that this is the sort of shit he's putting out at the moment.
Yeah, pretty much.
Or that's the kind of shit he thinks is funny. Or I don't even know if it is him who thinks it's funny or if he's just indulging his kids, to be honest.
God knows.
Yeah, other than that, Pacific Rim 2 is apparently happening, but Del Toro's having nothing to do with it.
Yeah, that was announced a while back, but it's been breaking today that John Boyega has been cast as Idris Elba's son. That'll do.
Yeah, fair enough. Just without kind of like, the guy whose kind of idea it was behind it seems a little bit like this could just be shit.
Yeah, I mean it's basically it's being made for the Far Eastern market. I'll happily watch it because Del Toro's still involved.
Isn't he a producing credit?
Yeah, but I don't think it's an exec producer kind of thing. I think he is going to be a bit more hands on than, like, say, Tim Burton with Alice Through the Looking Glass. So. I don't know. I remain hopeful.
Those things when Tim Burton has a film made and kind of pretends that he's directed it so that it will become a Tim Burton movie if it's a hit, and if it's not, he'll go, I directed, I just produced it.
Yeah,
because it's still nowadays you're constantly going to correct people and go, no. It's not a Tim Burton film, The Nightmare Before Christmas. He produced it.
Yeah, no, exactly. I don't know. I mean, like, I've got to say on that Alice Through the Looking Glass thing, apparently that film is better than the first one, but I'm very, very glad that this, and I haven't seen, I didn't get to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 because I went drinking instead, and but so this was kind of a thing as well, but it seems to be, and like Neighbours 2 as well, actually, sequels that people weren't exactly crying out for, but the originals made a lot of money, but the sequel's not really doing that well. Like, Turtles made substantially less in its opening weekend than the first one did, and Neighbours 2, like, relative to the first one, is outright bombed.
Has it?
Yeah, like relative to the first one, like I think it will still make its money back and whatnot, but
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. The shift is interesting. Let's have a look. Neighbours 2. Fucking bloody yeah. There's no U.
It's done 89 million so far.
Yeah, and I mean that's worldwide now.
Yeah,
considering
budget, so it's made money, but like you say, it's not.
I mean, what did the first one do? I think because the first one did really, really well, like everywhere.
First one did
270 million worldwide. There is no way
off half the budget.
Yeah, there you go. There is no way Neighbours 2 makes more. I'd say makes more than 150 million worldwide at this point. And so it still made money, but it does kind of seem like, right, let's just stop it there.
Have you seen the thing that apparently the advanced pre-sales of Warcraft in China?
In China, yeah.
That movie is that movie could just not make a penny in the US, and it's still going to be a success now. It's insane.
Yeah, I mean they reckon it's on for like on or more than $400 million in China alone.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, like worldwide, it's done 69 million already. You know, I mean, like, even though I think it was an expensive film, I think, like, I'd heard it was around about 160 million. But essentially, if it performs in China like they say it's going to, it's pretty much going to be thanks to China that it makes its money back, because it's doing all right internationally so far, but I've got a feeling they're not going to be able to count on the US for much.
No, but then again, it's they're now looking at other markets other than the US market. I mean, for instance, Pacific Rim didn't do well in the US. It made most of its money in the Asian market, and because of that, it did break even.
That's it. I mean, in the end of the day, the bottom seems to be starting to fall out of the US box office, unless it's like the biggest blockbusters. Yeah, and I mean, like the kind of the middle ground is basically not there anymore, and it's kind of where TV is going in. As much as I hate to say it, that's where TV is going in. You know, as always, as we say, it's always a good year for film. You've just got to actually give it some effort. But I don't know. Yeah, but I don't know. It's interesting. And just looking at the foreign total of Warcraft now, I mean, I know we spoke about it last week as well, but it's interesting. Like, Russia opened with 10.3 million, and then as of 5 days later, it only added another 2.5 million. So it does seem to be like the UK opened number one, but only because it basically had a full week of previews.
Yeah.
Because it opened on a Monday, and even then it was only just above Turtles 2, which opened on a Monday as well. And if it was the 3-day weekend, that Me Before You film, the Emilia Clarke one, was actually number one for the weekend, which is kind of mental.
Yeah.
But I think it's based on a young adult novel, so it's kind of like this year's Fault in Our Stars.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think Universal just about got away with it with Warcraft, and I mean, we both like the film. We're not coming at it from a place of hate at all.
No, it's a pure business level we're looking at in this conversation, isn't it?
Yeah, but they've just about gotten away with it. I mean, if it does as well in China as it's supposed to, I think there probably will be a sequel. Will Duncan Jones be back? Fuck no.
Yeah, probably not. I doubt that.
No, yeah, like no way. And it's kind of a shame as well because it kind of feels like I don't think it was a one for them with Duncan Jones, but it kind of feels like maybe there was a part of that where maybe he was thinking that he might be able to get funding for his smaller films
Well,
because he's the director of Warcraft. But
I think a lot of it as well was he wanted to make the Warcraft movie.
yeah, no, don't get me wrong, but it kind of feels like maybe that he could have gotten his smaller films made more easily because he was the director of Warcraft, whereas now it slightly feels like because of the slightly toxic air that Warcraft has had around it now, it almost feels like it's actually going to hurt his chances to do the more interesting films that the negative reviews are all saying he'd rather do. Well, fuck you, because you've probably just made the snake eat its own tail, and now he's going to have a harder time.
Exactly, it is a little bit like that. It seems like there's a little bit of the sniffiness from it of people saying stuff like that aren't kind of as on board with the fact that Duncan Jones, before he started making it, played Warcraft. He played World of Warcraft. He's a hardened gamer and was going on about how amazing it was that he was getting to make the Warcraft movie. So it wasn't like he was going, oh, you know, I'm going to take the big thing. And obviously he'll have had to make not him, but any director has to make kind of allowances and has to kind of say, right, has to give up a certain amount, I would say, of sort of creative freedom when they're making a movie like that, because they've got to look at, right, well, this can't happen, or this can't happen. For instance, take it into what we're talking about this week. The original Lethal Weapon 2, Riggs dies in the original script. And it basically Black ended up actually walking away from it and only getting a story credit rather than a screenplay credit because they weren't going to use his screenplay for it because he refused to budge on the Riggs should die in it. And Black still says that his Lethal Weapon script is the best thing that he has ever written.
Yeah.
And he said that it's what's sad about it is it will never ever get made, and because it'll never get made, he'll never ever put it out there. He has still has a copy of it, but it's a hard copy, and he said it will never see the light of day.
Fair enough.
So yeah, there are things like that. Even someone like Black, who at the time was quite literally could do whatever the fuck he wanted at the time, but still producers still went no because they didn't see Lethal Weapon 2, they saw 3 and 4.
Yeah. And those fine piece of work. Actually, I don't mind. I don't mind any of the Lethal Weapon films. I think 4's fine.
No, I'm a big fan of all of the all the Lethal Weapon films. Absolutely, it's not a criticism saying that that it went in the wrong direction. The Lethal Weapon 2 is a great movie. It's number 1's still the best one, but they're all perfectly solid for me.
Oh no, I know you weren't saying that. It's just I mean, it's interesting. I mean, I know it's going to be interesting to see Shane Black go back to Predator now as well. With Fred Dekker and he writing the screenplay and whatnot. That's going to be fascinating. I hope. Yeah, I don't know. I hope the slight tepid box office for The Nice Guys doesn't give the studio pause for thought there, but.
I mean, the weird thing is, because it's a Joel Silver production, Nice Guys.
Yeah.
And the thing about Joel Silver is, I remember seeing an interview with him. Actually, when he left, which studio was it again?
Warner.
When he left Warner and went out essentially kind of on his own a little bit. They were sort of asking him and saying to him, it was when he was doing Bullet to the Head.
Okay, yeah.
And they were talking about its poor box office. And it's about a year or so afterwards. And he was saying, and he said it did perform poor, And I said, oh, well, was that a bit of a kick in the teeth, losing money on that? And he said, no, it didn't lose money. And they said, well, it did. It lost money at the box office. And he said, yes. He said, but a film doesn't stop making money the minute it starts playing in the cinema. It doesn't work like that. He said, and you're looking what you're looking at is you're looking at the small picture there. He said, I don't know, I might still be one of the only producers out there that looks at home video and says, you know what, Bullet in the Head made a shit ton on home video. He said, and do you know why? Because dads need birthday presents, Christmas presents, and Father's Day presents.
Fair point.
And he said that about that. And so when anyone says to me, "Oh, Bullet in the Head lost money," he's like, he didn't. In the same way as, for instance, something like the A-Team. The A-Team made over 150 million on home viewing.
Jesus.
Yeah, it was insane how much the A-Team made on DVD and Blu-ray. It made close to 150 million, and that film's considered a bomb, and it's not. It made money, and it's people never take that into account. Granted, yeah, things like, for instance, Avatar. Can you imagine what Avatar, in the 93 different variants they've released on home viewing, has made so far? It's insane.
Yeah.
That's why they keep releasing them. That's why they keep releasing Star Wars. They don't keep releasing it to keep on fueling fans' cravings for new releases. They keep releasing it because people buy it and it makes loads and loads and loads and loads of money.
Yeah.
And that's the insanity of it all. So Nice Guys is almost one of those films where it's the reverse, it's the flip. The bonus bit for Nice Guys is what it makes in the cinema, because they know it's going to play well on Netflix and it's going to make shitloads on home viewing.
Fair enough. Yeah, even though, I don't know, considering like the way Blu-ray and DVD seems to be dying off and whatnot as well, and it kind of see. I don't know. I don't know whether like maybe at that time he could count that for Bullet in the Head, but now.
Well, I'll tell you what though, right? I know for a fact that the chap I work with, Beck's dad, my dad, 3 people there that will buy the Nice Guys on DVD.
Oh no, yeah, don't get me wrong. It's just like I don't know that demographic. Sure,
it's the
I think it's getting smaller.
Yeah, it's definitely getting smaller. But what I will say is, the people who they're counting on to buy DVDs now aren't the people who buy them on Amazon. They're the people who buy them in Sainsbury's and Asda.
Mm-hmm.
That's the people who buy them, and they'll buy them for £7 when they see them for £7. The market has changed in a really bizarre way.
It's just at the moment they will. Like, give it 5-10 years, I don't know.
No, in 5-10 years, it could change exponentially. But, films that have released an 18-month period, aren't they? That's when you make your money off your film.
No, don't get me wrong. I agree with what you're saying at the moment. Shall we move on?
Yeah, cool.
Okay, cool. So, Blaxploitation, let's begin. So, yes. 1991's The Last Boy Scout, directed by Tony Scott, and starring Bruce Willis, Damon Wayans, Halle Berry, Danielle Harris, and a bunch of other folks.
It's a very character-acty film, isn't it?
Yeah. Bloody Everett McGill turns up. Is it Everett McGill or Bruce McGill?
Bruce McGill.
Bruce McGill, sorry. And for 5 seconds and then blows up.
Yeah.
It's that kind of film.
Yes.
Let's get into it. Friday night's a great night for football.
Yeah.
What
What a fucking opening!
Yeah, no.
One of my favourite openings to any movie.
Like, just what? I mean, it's brilliant, right? We're gonna have the credit sequence just like during the opening of Friday Night Football.
Yeah.
Okay.
That feels like such a Tony Scott thing.
Yeah. No. Totally. Absolutely. They're kind of like the I don't know. It's just like almost like the CRT monitor 4:3 look of it. Just feels like Tony Scott's like getting down in the shit, like the fresh technology of the time or something. Just loving it, So I don't know. Awesome beginning, but then it cuts from that to like the most atmospheric football game ever, and like the locker room where it almost feels like it's doing that Tony Scott, and then like then it kind of moved on to Michael Bay thing where it's almost like you almost imagine overhead ceiling fans like casting like the light pouring through them, casting shadows and shit.
Yes.
Like the locker room just looks like almost like a massive warehouse.
Yeah.
It's just like what, and then you got that football game in the rain and
in the extreme rain.
yeah, it's just so evocative, and it's such. I don't know. It's a really memorable opening, and it kind of stands out from the rest of the film as well. It's very very moody, and very very serious, and then pretty much straight away after that, you got Bruce Willis being like
Bruce Willis now.
Yeah, pretty much, but like still coming out with quips and stuff. Yeah, and it's I don't know. It's an interesting. I think it's a slightly schizophrenic film. Is The Last Boy Scout because. Go on.
Yeah, that could be it because essentially you had Joel Silver and Bruce Willis essentially kind of fighting with Tony Scott about where they wanted to change the film, and Shane Black kind of standing back going, look, if you want to change stuff, but just kind of keep it as it kind of was, so that the idea's there. And Tony Scott going, I don't want to do that, and Willis and Black and Joel Silver saying, no, you're going to do it because we're paying you to do it. And it was a little bit like that. So yeah, I think that's entirely where I think the kind of like a bit of the schizophrenic kind of energy comes from it. Certainly.
Yeah, exactly.
And of course, in Bruce Willis' shocker, Bruce Willis didn't get on at all, apparently, with Damon Wayans.
Yeah, that's not as surprising the slightest, though, is it?
I mean, let's face it, how often does Bruce Willis get on with somebody he's got a sharing amount of screen time with?
Exactly. And because I don't know, it's weird because both of those characters have got to be half serious, like half the straight man and half the comic relief. But it's like they interchange them at alternate scenes, and I don't know. It does feel slightly all over the place. But I must say, I mean, I watched this not long ago, and I actually enjoyed it more than I remembered enjoying it. I think it might have only been last year that I watched this last, and I don't know. I got on with it more, and it's quite pacey as well, considering how long it is, because it's getting on for 2 hours.
Yeah, it's a little shy of 2 hours, yeah.
But, I mean, like, once Halle Berry's, like, killed off, half hour, 40 minutes in, it just kind of goes, and it doesn't really stop. You got the bit where, like, they kind of had the confessional with each other.
Yeah, which is a fantastic scene.
Yeah, which is great.
Wayans plays that very, very well.
Yeah, he does. But then, I mean, aside from that, there's something pretty much always happening. I mean, the last half hour in particular it's got a great sense of momentum to it.
Yeah, it very much it sets them on a journey of saying, right, they're going from when they decide, okay, we're gonna look into it. They're gonna look into Corey's death. From there, they don't stop. It is just there's no right. Well, yeah, let's stop here and let's have a think about what's going on. They almost get kind of caught up in it, and it all happens really quickly, and then it gets to the end and it ends. It does. It's got a heck of momentum to it, certainly.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I must say as well. I mean, Danielle Harris putting in a solid, not that annoying kid performance as well. Like she's fine.
Yeah.
Like the Shane Black writing kids, I think, has gotten better. I think she's a little bit too.
Fuck you.
Yeah, exactly. A bit too full bore that.
Yeah. And
I think Angry Rice in The Nice Guys. We'll get to that, but it's a marked improvement.
I think with this, I mean, the argument you could make is she's quite literally doing it for effect. It's not like it is a different kind of, character to the one in The Nice Guys. But yeah, it does get a little bit. You do feel a little bit like, all right, calm down a little bit. You don't need to tell him to go fuck himself all the time.
Yeah, but I that's not the fault of Danielle Harris, though. I mean, I think she's fine. It is a little bit full on, like you say. And yeah, I mean, the plot is rather convoluted. I mean, I suppose in a way it's a typical Shane Black plot with that in that kind of way, but I think maybe, unlike Kiss Kiss Bang Bang and The Nice Guys, because it's not so obviously like trying to be a detective story, it doesn't. The fact that it's basically like a big Bruce Willis film.
That's
and then, again, the schizophrenic nature of it, I think, slightly gets into it there. And I mean, the senator who he caught like beating that woman and whatnot, like, it's kind of weird that he's played as a really nasty guy, but then he's kind of just almost comic relief at the end.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. You've got three worlds kind of colliding. You've got a Tony Scott film who makes Tony Scott movies. All these movies are a very similar kind of theme. He had a very distinct style. Absolutely, I think he did. And you've got, like you say, there's the fact is that this is a Bruce Willis post, very, very close to Die Hard movie when he was a huge ticket. And then you've got the fact that it's a Shane Black movie as well, which again, he was another big ticket, and it was supposed to be the perfect storm. You've got the biggest director with the biggest star with the biggest writer all making this film and then throwing Damon Wayans in there as well. That was the whole idea behind it, but it is those three worlds can't kind of collide a little bit. They're all too sort of different enough. Tony Scott doesn't make Bruce Willis style action movies, and the idea there is Tony Scott movies are maybe a little bit too kinetic for a Shane Black script.
I think that's a good way of putting it. Yeah, I mean, like, Tony Scott has never been one who's super, 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 super interested in character and narrative, whereas Shane Black is kind of all about that, but likes his action as well.
Yeah, he likes to throw in action there, but the strange thing about Shane Black is, and we'll come to it over all of them, is he enjoys how smart he is. He enjoys how good a writer he is. He knows he is a very good writer. So he digs that, and he shows off a lot. And The Last Boy Scout, there's a lot of showing off in The Last Boy Scout. Like, he tells three jokes when you could tell one.
Yeah, even though are you like kind of referring there to like kind of when they're in the woods and whatnot, and no, totally, it is there. But again, that stuff is just kind of funny, though. I like the way the trick he's got to disarming the guys by just making them laugh.
Yeah.
That is a solid Shane Blackism, and I mean, it's one of the moments where I think Bruce Willis kind of works there as well, because he is playing the whole kind of like slightly nonchalant. Oh, you're gonna kick the shit out of me? Yeah, all right. Whatever, I'm gonna fucking murder you later on, but that's fine. We'll just get on.
Yeah, it is. It's the great. The bit with Kim Coates is fantastic, where he's with the cigarette and he's like, "Oh, you're not that tough, though." And he's like, "Oh yeah, I seem to drop my cigarette. Can I have another one?"
Yeah.
And at that moment, it's where you get Kim Coates going to look at him and say, "Fuck it, right, all right." But there's a little tinge of, oh, maybe he is quite fucking tough.
But then his kind of ego takes control again. He's like, "No, I've got this shit," and then he's kind of back on it, and then what happens. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think it's a solid 4-star film.
It is. It's one of those weird films in that I love it. I watch it at least sort of once a year. But for me, there's kind of like almost a mini kind of nostalgia thing to it, because it was, and I've said it before in here. There's films like Total Recall and this, it's like True Lies that were films that when I was a kid they were on like ITV or BBC on like a fucking Wednesday or a Thursday night, and you watched them so you could talk about them the next day. And for ages, people would use one of the jokes from it, and if you knew, you'd always be a little bit like, you fucking stolen that from The Last Boy Scout, but you'd still laugh. Only because you'd probably stolen it yourself as well at one point. But yeah, it is, like I say, it's a solid 4 out of 5. It's that type of movie that we don't get enough of anymore. We still get them; they still exist, but we maybe don't get enough of them.
Yeah, no, so, yeah, I think that's absolutely fair. I mean, to be fair, The Nice Guys is almost another one of those, and it, like you say, it's just one of those films that we're not getting all that often. I don't know. I mean, like the new Lethal Weapon TV series that's coming out. Like, if I don't know, if it had like the quality of writing that The Last Boy Scout and some of these other films do have, you'd happily watch that every single week for an hour.
Absolutely. I mean, I actually a couple of years ago read the script for The Last Boy Scout, and it's fantastic. Just reading it is incredible because Black puts in so many piss takes in his scripts aimed at the people reading it.
Yeah, no, yeah, God, it just takes me back. I remember listening to the Hollywood Saloon podcast back in the fucking day, and which was this great series of podcasts before I think the two guys fell out with each other, but this great series of podcasts where they were like long form discussions about particular topics, and they were talking about like some of the best screenplays, and they're talking about Tony Scott and the way that he's basically kind of like fourth wall breaking within the screenplay, and kind of saying like, look, none of this stuff is I know none of this stuff is actually going to be in the film, but isn't this making you pay attention? Yeah, which is great.
And stuff like saying, referencing a character and then putting, do you remember him? Do you remember him? Did you read the actual first few pages? Because something really point happened with him, so you need to remember him. Go back and read it. It's on page blah. And he does stuff like that. And stuff like putting Last Action Hero, which we'll come to in a minute, putting stuff like... pans back from a house with a pool and anything like this. Kind of like the house I'm going to buy from the fat check you're going to write me for this script.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, it's stuff like that. I mean, it's fantastic, and I don't know. I mean, let's move on to Last Action Hero, but definitely not shit.
Oh, definitely not shit. Last Boy Scout. It's one of those that it's almost like a warm hug of a movie for me. I thoroughly enjoy watching it.
I can see where you're coming from with that. Yeah. Okay, so 1993's Last Action Hero.
Yeah.
Which is directed by John McTiernan, and was it the screen story and the screenplay have co-writer credits?
Yes.
For Shane Black, yeah. So starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, Austin O'Brien, F. Murray Abraham, Tom Noonan, Charles Dance, and others. So it kind of saw Schwarzenegger kind of at the height of his powers, but also kind of
on the. It was at the tip as he was facing down the slope.
Yeah. No, I think that's exactly it. It was like he was just starting on the downswing, and I don't know. I mean, like this and Jurassic Park coming out in the same summer, it did kind of feel like the beginning of the end. And
of that type of movie star.
Yeah, and the star-driven blockbuster as well to an extent.
Yeah.
I mean, in really, I mean, looking at what you had going forward after this, I mean, Jurassic Park did so well, and it was the whole the effects are the star thing, and that kind of really carried forward. I mean, Will Smith for a while kind of had that thing of.
And you could argue Tom Cruise as well.
And Tom Cruise totally. But just the big action hero.
Yeah.
Action hero. Last Action Hero is almost an appropriately meta title.
Yeah, I think the only... the next huge one after that was True Lies, which was released the next year. But that was a James Cameron movie. And it still sold off the fact that it was a Schwarzenegger movie, but it was different because part of the thing was that Cameron did what Cameron does, and he sold that by saying you need to see this movie because it's the most expensive movie ever made.
Yeah,
which is what essentially he has done every film since Aliens. A weird thing that I am looking at with Last Action Hero before we actually get into the actual movie is I went to see this at the cinema. Right, and this came out in the cinema in '94 in England. I think it came out at Christmas in the US. Yeah. No, June.
No, it was summer, man. Yeah, it was a summer film in the US.
Summer film in the US, but apparently it didn't come out until sort of '94 for some reason in the UK.
Jesus.
Right, right? Now I went to see this. I'll have been 11, 12 when it came out, right? It's a 15.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering how the fuck you managed to get away with that.
How did I get in to see this? And I didn't. I know for a fact that I didn't do what I used to do and pay for something else and go and see this. I remember actually going up and paying to see Last Action Hero and getting let in.
Good for you.
Yeah. Trust me, at that age, I didn't look 15. Really didn't look 15. I always just assumed that it was a 12 and that it had become a 15 on like DVD and stuff like that because it was a slightly extended version. But no, it was a 15. It's clear that the people at View or Warner, as it was at the time, Warner Bros. Cinemas, just didn't give a shit.
Well, I mean, but the thing is, I mean, like, considering what this film is on the surface, you'd almost think maybe it was a kid's film, and I think that's... I think that's probably the big failing of Last Action Hero, is the fact that who the fuck is this film for?
Well, that's it. If it makes you think, if the film was actually aimed, directly actually was more for kids rather than just for kids, because it's a kids movie. This should be shown on Channel 4 at 10 o'clock on a Saturday, not on ITV2 at 10 o'clock on a Saturday, at the other 10 o'clock.
Yeah, no, I don't know. The plot and the magical projectionist.
Yeah.
The whole golden ticket thing. It sounds like a kids' film.
Mm. But then one of your heroes is a 13-year-old kid.
Mm.
Adults don't watch films about kids.
No, exactly. But then you've got, references to, like, is the drug dealer of the home available, or whatever that line is, and...
that's it. Is the drug dealer of the house available?
Yeah, and, like, Tom Noonan's character, who is just, like, straight up terrifying. Creepy. Yeah, and it's such a weird mishmash, and it almost feels like they were trying to do that 4-quadrant thing, but instead of going, this whole film is going to appeal to 4 quadrants, it's like, specific bits of this film will appeal to 1 quadrant individually.
Yeah.
But never will the 4 meet. And I mean, it's entertaining. Sometimes despite itself, but it's a fucking mess.
Oh, it's an absolute a mess. Is right. I reckon you shave off 20 minutes and you've got a better movie.
Oh my yes. I mean, it's what is it about? Is it about the kid getting over some difficulties at home, or is it about Arnold Schwarzenegger's character, finding redemption after the loss of his son, or is it about trying to stop Charles Dance from bringing fictional characters into the real world, which he talks a big game about that, but you never fucking see it.
Yeah.
It is all over the shop.
Yeah, it is. And the problem is, it feels like there's different parts of it are more entertaining than the other. So it sparkles in that kind of. From just before, I would say, he gets to... From when he arrives to go and see Jack Slater 4.
Yeah.
From when he arrives to go and see that, to about sort of when shit starts to go wrong in that world. Mm. So maybe just after Charles Dance realises what the ticket is and that he can use it. And that middle bit is fantastic. It really is. It's fantastic watching the kids sort of keep going, this is a movie, and Schwarzenegger going, it's not a movie. There's this, and explaining everything with perfect logic that you're also watching going, that's perfect logic, but it's completely illogical of what you're saying, but it works within the world and the fabric that you live within. And it's kind of, it's that from there. But then... It is, when it's in the movie world, it's entertaining. When it grows out of the movie world, it becomes dank and a little bit like, do you know what? I get what you're doing. I get that that's it. That's the whole point. But send us back there.
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, the stuff within the movie world when it's commenting on itself and the kid is commenting is fantastic. I mean, just the whole kind of like these girls are too hot to be working in a blockbuster.
Yeah.
You know, why do all the numbers start with 555? I mean, the cartoon cat bit. I mean, Schwarzenegger's great in this. Like, he's kind of just like not like just so matter of fact and serious about the ridiculous world he's living in. Like, you know, and I mean the ending's pretty great as well. The whole kind of like it's pretty much a mortal wound in the real world, and then he goes into the film world at the end, and the doctor's just like, "Are you wasting my time? It's just a flesh wound." I mean, that's great. I mean, the fun moments in this are really, 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 really fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just there are long portions where not a lot's really happening, and you know it's about the relationship between Danny and Jack Slater, and it's a little bit. I don't really give a fuck. If I wanted to watch a kid in Schwarzenegger, I'd watch Terminator 2. It doesn't quite work there. But you know, John McTiernan's got a good eye for the action. The action scenes are great.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with the action scenes whatsoever. Oh, fuck me. And Arnold Schwarzenegger, like Maria Schreiber, like telling him, don't talk about Planet Hollywood.
Yeah, don't talk the restaurant.
And he just can't help himself. It's fantastic. It's so good. So good.
It is. There's some great bits of him sending himself up the Stallone as Terminator.
Yeah, no, yeah, absolutely. God, just the reaction to the cartoon cat. It's like, there's a cartoon cat. He's one of the best people we have. I mean, there are enough individual bits and sections in this film to make me enjoy it.
Yeah.
But God, yeah, like you say, God, I wish it was 20 minutes shorter.
Yeah, that is the problem. It's too long. It's noticeably too long because as it's getting towards the end, you go in. I'm getting bored of watching this now.
Yeah, no, totally. I don't know. It's interesting as well. Like the iTunes art for this is just a very kind of generic picture of Schwarzenegger like looking at you, whereas like the poster art for it back in the day, I still remember it in my mind's eye. Where it says Schwarzenegger, and it's him like kind of like crashing out of the cinema screen and all this other shit bursting around it.
It's a send-up of Indiana Jones, essentially.
Yeah, and it's brilliant. And you know, and it's like, I kind of wish that film was more like that than Schwarzenegger staring out at you, which it kind of is at times.
I think I know which one which one it is. It's the one with the really bad lettering, isn't it? Let me have a look. Yeah.
Well, it's Last Action Hero kind of like vertical on the side.
It looks a little bit more like it should be for Raw Deal or something like that.
Yeah, totally. That's the one.
Yeah. It would make sense having that, you know, that image, the proper poster for it, that kind of incorporates all of the fun. It's essentially Schwarzenegger exploding out of the screen with everything else that's going on in the background. Yeah,
exactly. I don't know. I think to take it to Shane Black. I think I think the Shane Blackisms are the bits that are just like the most entertaining in the film. I would have to assume, like, because it does kind of feel like his like screenplay for Last Boy Scout and whatnot slightly writ on screen, like the whole the commenting upon itself kind of thing. It does feel like he's doing that, but then our mainstream audience is going to enjoy that stuff. Maybe they'll laugh at some of it, but some of it will go over their heads. Our kids going to like it, yeah, but some of it will go over their heads. So it just...
It's a weird film that's... Go on.
I enjoy it, but I'm really... like, next to Jurassic Park, holy fuck is it obvious why Jurassic Park destroyed it.
Yeah, but I think, had you watched The Last Action Hero as a 31-year-old? 31? Yeah.
Me now, yeah.
Had you watched it as a 31-year-old in 1993, I don't think you liked it.
Sure, yeah.
But I think the fact is that it's grown nicely. It's a better film now than it was 23 years ago.
I think that's fair. Yeah, like you say, it's grown into itself, and the fact that we now know what the 90s were like for cinema, with the kind of the rose-tinted glasses, I think the appreciation for it grows. Yeah, for sure.
It's almost become a bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy of itself.
Mm-hmm. For sure. I mean, I think something like Deadpool would have a harder time existing if it weren't for Last Action Hero. Like the whole kind of commenting on itself kind of thing. And the fact that Deadpool has done so well now kind of shows that people are more ready for that kind of thing.
Absolutely, it was a fairly sort of new thing, and especially when the person who was doing it, who was almost pointing the finger and poking fun at the establishment and at action films, was the guy who had been giving us these action films for nearly the past 7 or 8 years. It maybe made people go a little bit like, hang on a minute, you're going to badmouth them now, then in a year's time you're going to be telling us to go and see your fucking new one?
Yeah. Even though, to be fair, this film only has love for those films.
Oh yeah, that's it.
It's incredibly affectionate.
Yeah, it is. But I think that the casual filmgoers will have seen it as a critique rather than.
I see what you're saying. Yes.
Rather than a nod and a wink.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm definitely not shit. I'm more 3 to 3.5 out of 5. I do think it's the worst one of the films that we're going to talk about, but
yes,
I don't know. That's only really because the other 3 films are pretty great.
Yeah.
Moving on. So 2005's Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, which is directed by Shane Black and stars Robert Downey Jr., Val Kilmer, Michelle Monaghan, Corbin Burnson, and Naughty's favourite, Shannon Sossamon.
Yes, she was so kind of like, she was like the fucking one of the original fucking kind of like Naughty's manic pixie dream girls until I can't remember which director it was or actor it was said about Shannon Sossamon that Shannon Sossamon's biggest problem is the fact that she's Shannon Sossamon.
Yeah, I mean, bless her. She was the hottest thing in the world for 3 weeks.
Yeah, she was from I think 2002 to about 2005.
Like, I need to look at her credits now.
Yeah. Who was it?
That's a pretty good quote, mind.
Yeah.
Her latest credit is Man Without a Head. It's pretty solid.
Yeah, so she did 40 Days of Night. Yeah, 2002 was 40 Days of Night. 2002 was Rules of Attraction. The Order. And then it started to go pretty much kind of like downhill and into straight to VOD from Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus Christ, that's mental. Like, A Knight's Tale, 40 Days and 40 Nights, The Rules of Attraction, like, holy fuck, who is this? Like, three roles in the space of around a year. And then, I don't know, like, 3 years later, Wristcutters A Love Story, which is good.
Yeah.
2 years after that, One Missed Call.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it just, yeah.
And Sinister 2.
And she's a voice in Hitman Absolution.
Yeah.
I mean, fair play. She's now in Wayward Pines, and she had a recurring role in Sleepy Hollow. Like, she hasn't disappeared, but it was just she just seemed to be the it girl for a really short but concentrated hardcore period of time.
Yeah,
and now here she is already with pink hair and barely says anything.
Yeah, she's incidental.
Yeah, totally. But yeah, so Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. It was Shane Black's directing debut, starring. I mean, it was basically Shane Black had been in the wilderness for ages, and Joel Silver kind of helped him out. Robert Downey Jr. His career was kind of in the doldrums, and but he was friends with Shane Black, and they kind of got together to work on this. Barely got a theatrical release at all. Like, kind of weirdly shoved out in the margins. But, like, half a decade later, or just over, Shane Black and Robert Downey Jr. make over $1 billion with Iron Man 3.
Well, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is an absolute kind of, if you want kind of like to look at and say, because a lot of times the phrase cult film gets bandied about for a film before it's actually even been released. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang has organically become a cult film. It's a modern cult film. It did barely anything at the cinema, and so most people discovered it on DVD.
Yep.
In a similar way to something like Donnie Darko was a similar film that made its name on DVD. And it's because when you look at it now and you go, that's insane that a Shane Black Robert Downey Jr. movie didn't get that big a release. But it's because at the time, Robert Downey Jr. was poison, essentially,
Yeah.
for a movie. As to an extent was Val Kilmer. And Val Kilmer apparently got offered it because he'd met Robert Downey Jr. At a party. And had been chatting to Robert Downey Jr. and had really got on with him, and then 3 weeks later was offered this script for Kiss Kiss Bang Bang that Shane Black apparently had written with Val Kilmer in mind, and he was like, I don't know, I'm not sure what the character or anything like that. We'll talk, and then when they talked, sat down and said, "Oh, who's playing Harry?" And they went, "Oh, it's Robert Downey Jr." And he was like, "Yeah, I'll do it." And it was just because he'd just got on with him at a party like 3 weeks earlier or something stupid like that.
Yeah, and that's fantastic. And I don't know, like the chemistry is just the best.
The patter is incredible. From the first sort of like interaction between the two of them, where he's like, "Oh, you must be get out of Perry, you're Perry, aren't you?" And he's like, "Still gay?" No, I just really like the name.
Yeah. I mean that the whole definition of an idiot exchange is just the most wonderful thing.
It is. It's Kilmer. At points in this, Kilmer reminds you, or makes you lament. Because I watched a Val Kilmer movie last week. I watched Mindhunters, and it's a terrible movie. I don't know. I enjoyed it, but it's a terrible movie. And that was made the same year, I believe, as this. And it just, when you look at this and you go, this is how great Val Kilmer can be.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go back to something like Tombstone, and you go, oh my God, why weren't you not as fat for so long, and why weren't you less of a dick? Because we could have had 30 years of magnificence. Yeah,
no, exactly. I don't know. It's such a shame what's happened with Val Kilmer. Every now and then he pops up like Bad Lieutenant. Just great. Yeah, it's just so weird. But the plot is fantastic.
Yeah.
Again, very very commenting on itself, but wonderfully so. Like just the whole towards the star is like, wait, I haven't explained that bit. Oh God, I'm so bad at this. It's like when your uncle's talking about, well, he's trying to tell a joke and blah blah blah, and that stuff is so much fun and it endears you to him so nicely. I mean, the narration gets you on board with Downey Jr.'s character so quickly.
Yeah.
But then Michelle Monaghan as well. I mean, this was. Oh, hello.
Daddy.
Hi, buddy. You all right?
Yeah, I come and see you.
You come and see me? Oh.
We're going to go get some Jim Jams.
You're going to get some Jim Jams?
Yeah.
Did you have a nice... Sorry about this, Mark. Did you have a nice bar?
Sorry, Ma.
No, no problem at all.
Oh, hello. Hang on. Let me pull out my thingies. Do you want to say hi to Uncle Mark?
Hiya.
Hello, Lottie.
I saw you. Oh, yeah, you saw a picture of you.
You saw a picture of me?
Yeah.
Where?
Wait, oh, on the gallery wall.
What, downstairs?
Yeah, picture of you and Mark.
Oh.
What, you knew that was Mark?
Yeah, I thought it was Mark.
Oh, you told her it was Mark? Well, this is Uncle Mark.
I've seen a lot of pictures of you, Lottie.
Whoa.
Yeah. Whoa, so many pictures. All very good, though.
What are you doing? That was Daddy's dinner.
Oh, there's some more there.
Yeah, there's some more there, yeah.
You eat it.
I'm going to eat it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're so bossy.
Have you watched Kiss Kiss Bang Bang?
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you think of it?
Yeah.
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 What would you give it out of 10?
What number, Lottie?
What number would you give it out of 10?
2. 2.
2 out of 10? You got no taste, kid. Go away.
I see him.
You see who?
I Be my daddy.
Yeah, so you're my daughter.
Come on,
Oh, yeah,
put it
okay.
on, Jessica.
You say bye-bye to Uncle Mark.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Lottie.
She say
You
bye-bye.
said bye-bye last to you.
Yeah.
Bye, Mark.
Bye.
Sorry, she doesn't get the concept that we'll just wave and leave her
Okay.
alone.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye, gorgeous. Bye-bye, gorgeous mummy. Right, anyway. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, gorgeous daddy. Bloody hell. Don't get called that often. Anyway, where was I?
Michelle Monaghan.
Yeah, and like Michelle Monaghan as well. I mean, like, who kind of... It's weird, like, this film should have kick-started or resurrected careers.
Well, the thing is, it
And it kinda did.
It kick-started Downey Jr.'s, ascent into being, Iron Man. Val Kilmer went off and just did what Val Kilmer does. Because of the Iron Man, because of the Robert Downey Jr. link, it gave Shane Black Iron Man 3, essentially, because without this, he wouldn't have directed Iron Man 3. And Michelle Monaghan, like you say, you feel like she should have got off and done more. But then when you look at it, she has actually done a bit. So
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like...
her career is a really strange one.
It's just she's turning up in Pixels.
Yeah, but she's
And
turned up
it's
in Pixels, but Pixels made a shit ton of money.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But it's just like, it kind of feels bad that Michelle Monaghan is playing the love interest in an Adam Sandler film. It feels like 10 years ago, she was slightly destined for more than that.
Yeah, when she did things like Gone Baby Gone, for instance, and then Source Code she was in, wasn't she? So she did stuff like that, but then it peppers in with stuff like Machine Gun Preacher and Due Date and Pixels.
God, she was in Jude. God, she was in Due Date. Jesus, there's a film that's just gone to the mist of time, eh?
That film should only be remembered for Mark Wahlberg's cameo.
Oh God, yeah. I like Jesus Christ, Due Date.
Yeah, it was kind of like the post Hangover, but also post Iron Man 2 kind of thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, well, yeah, no, quite. I don't know, I just remember at the time Robert Downey Jr. just saying like it's the funniest film you'll ever see.
Yeah, Robert Downey is one of those where the current movie he's in is the best movie he's made, and I genuinely think he genuinely believes that. He's just Robert Downey Jr. has had so much therapy that everything he comes out of his mouth is therapeutic to himself. He literally is a I'm just glad to be alive kind of guy.
Well, he fucking should be, I think.
Genuinely, I think he genuinely is. Every day is every day is a new fucking day, and I'm not dead, and I'm not caught up.
I don't know. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, only a few years before this, he was like the love interest on Ally McBeal.
Yeah.
I know Ally McBeal was quite a big show at the time, but
he was having to do that to pay legal fees.
Yeah, no, exactly. But it was like Robert Downey Jr. was the love interest in Ally McBeal, and like less than 10 years later, he was Iron Man.
And the weird thing about the great thing about Robert Downey Jr. is he never ever downplays a single role that he's got. That he's been in. He's always been, because I remember talking to him about Ally McBeal, and he said the great thing about Ally McBeal is it was literally paying for me to stay out of prison. So without that, there wouldn't have been where I am now. I'd have been in prison or dead, probably.
Yeah, no, I know exactly. It's amazing. I mean, I know, like, obviously he's paid an insane amount and whatnot now, but I don't know. It's just good on him, I suppose. It's like he turned his shit around.
Yeah, he was... The thing about Robert Downey Jr. is he's actually a ridiculously good actor. I mean, he's a ridiculously good actor. I mean, he's fantastic in this because what we get is we don't get, like, Zodiac, fantastically good actor, or when he was in Chaplin, fantastically good actor. We get Robert Downey Jr. kind of personality and patter and that bounce that he runs along with so well, and having the fact that it's a Shane Black script kind of gives him a fantastic script to work with, and that rolls off the tongue, and he gets to be charismatic, which is what he's best at doing. It's why Iron Man works for him.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, no, absolutely. And some of the set pieces in this are so funny. I like the whole like playing Russian roulette thing, and actually like shooting him, and the difficulty he has with working out the percentage chance. Yeah, it's like there was like an 8% chance. He was like, "Who taught you math?" And then through the scene, he's trying to work it out in his head.
Yeah, while Val Kilmer's then on the phone, just turns around because he's in the background, just going, "Well, no, because if it's 6, he's like, stop doing math."
Yeah. It's fantastic, but.
Or when he tries to tell Val Kilmer what he says, sleep badly. It's like, well, no, because, and he just tries to basically say what Michelle Monaghan, and Val Kilmer just goes, "Fuck you, get out of my car."
Yeah. Even I mean, like, kind of like with that scene as well, the whole like, I'm sorry, I've got to go.
I've got to go.
No, I've got to go, and he just like slightly pushes it. It's brilliant. And the peeing on the corpse as well. I mean, fantastic stuff. Why would you pee on piss on the corpse? That is brilliant.
But Val Kilmer's character, because he comes across an arsehole all the way through it, and as one who is just out for himself. But there's always that faint bit underneath it all that he's actually it's kind of a sheen. He actually does have a nice core to him, and then you get the fantastic scene, which is such a. It is such, again, we always talk about blackisms as these little witty banter bits, but he's also got these quite kind of, right, stop. And he's going to throw, in the middle of all of this banter and stuff like that, he's going to throw a 2-3 minute scene like we got with Last Boy Scout, where Damon Wayans is talking about his kid dying. Mm-hmm. He then throws in this little scene where Val Kilmer's character goes to see Michelle Monaghan's dad. And that is where you're watching it, and it's Val Kilmer's facial reactions to that, where you look at it going, when he wants to be, he's on another level above very good actors to a different fucking level, because there's a look of absolute, just pure fucking hatred that he gives the guy.
Just the slaps as well. Like, if you were to describe that scene, and then he slaps him, it's like, what? But it's like, it's kind of a thunderous double slap, and it's so well played. And the fact that he doesn't just shoot him or something like that, it's like, right, you're on your deathbed, you're going to hell. Yeah. And there are people in the world who know what you are.
Yeah, and it's him going, I'm going to make you feel as powerless as you made them feel.
Yeah. It's a great scene.
And I think also as well, it's the look that he gives him, where Alkin at that point realises this guy doesn't think he's done anything wrong.
Yeah.
So he's gonna leave him with that, because the redemption of him killing him isn't enough. It's a scene where that elevates this movie from being a very entertaining and very good movie to a fantastic movie.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, I'm 5 out of 5.
I'm 5 out of 5 for this movie. I remember when I first watched this, which was actually on. I was one of the few people in the UK that actually saw this in the cinema. But I saw it ages after it had been released, about a year after it was released, at the City Screen. It was on like a advanced preview, not advanced preview, like a special night kind of thing. And I happened to be in town, and I just wandered in and thought, right, what's playing next? Oh, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. I remember it was on at 8:30 at night. I remember going, oh, fuck it, yeah, why not? I'll go and see that. And then sitting down to watch it, and then coming out of it going, that was fantastic. Yeah. The weird thing is, I always think of this movie as being like 2.5 hours long, and it's not. It's like an hour and 40 odd minutes. Mm-hmm. But in my brain, I'm always a little bit reluctant to rewatch it sometimes, because I'm thinking, it is like 2.5 hours long though, and it's not.
No, I mean, there's content though, it's packed.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. It's just as good every single time.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So yeah, and on to the main event, I suppose. So The Nice Guys, starring Ryan Gosling, Russell Crowe, Angourie Rice, and
Matt Bomer.
Matt Bomer. That was the guy.
David.
Yeah, Keith David. Yeah.
When I saw his name in it, I didn't know he was in it. It didn't. I'd probably seen it in the trailers, but it didn't. I'd forgotten. And his name came up, I thought, that must be. It must be that Keith David. Oh yes.
Yeah. No. Totally. Absolutely. So, The Nice Guys. All spoilers all the time. So I don't think I really need to say the story then. So I'm just going to say I kind of would be surprised if it's not my film of the year, Mark.
Well, weirdly, what I was going to say was, it will be an incredible year if this is my number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or anything beyond film of the year. Yeah. I always have this thing when I'm looking forward to a movie this much. And to give you an example, when I sat down in the screening to watch this movie, I looked at my watch and I went, I'm now impatient because I know there's half an hour's worth of trailers and adverts before the movie starts, and that pisses me off.
Be like me, miss your train and only just get to the start of it.
I can't do that. I can't not get in like at least a minute before the allotted started time for it. But then I always have this thing of, shit, what if it's not as good as I'm wanting it to be? And then The Nice Guys wasn't. It was everything I wanted it to be and a whole lot more.
Yeah, I could have walked straight back in.
Yeah.
And I'm going to watch this film many, many times.
Yes. And you'll notice bits that you'll laugh at each time. New bits, I'll guarantee you.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I that's just one of the easiest watching films that doesn't have an awful lot of substance, but I don't really care. And I don't know, it's kind of made me just become, like, on a broader point of view, become comfortable with the fact that I think I'm too old and I have too much going on in my life other than films to really want to be particularly challenged by something, and I really do just want to be entertained, but in as smart a way as possible.
Yeah.
So, like, Son of Saul, say, I'm sure it's great, and I will very likely get to it.
Yeah.
But I'm more focused on watching things that I can just have a good time with it and appreciate the filmmaking while having a good time.
Yeah.
And that's what The Nice Guys is.
It is from the get-go. This movie is a good time, and that's all it's trying to do. It's trying to say, look, have fun watching these two idiots bounce around. You know, one of them is good at his job, but is more than his job, and the other one is accidentally good at his job and is no more than his job, but he could be, but he just doesn't want to be. Yeah. It's perfect. It's prime casting.
No, exactly. I mean, it's absolute perfection for Russell Crowe.
Yeah.
In that he gets to be burly.
Yeah.
And he gets to have a soul.
Yeah.
And he does actually get funny moments, but they play within what Russell Crowe probably thinks is funny.
Yeah.
So they're not asking him to go out of his wheelhouse and do anything uncomfortable, but just things like the cutaway where his wife says, "I'm fucking your dad," and he just like spits and just goes, "What?" and it cuts back.
They don't ever ask him to tell a joke.
No. That's exactly it. It's reactionary.
Yeah.
And just the whole he never drinks through the film, but then in the last scene, he obviously looks really pissed. And what's he doing? He's just drinking from a bottle of Captain Morgan.
Yeah, and the great thing about that is it's never referenced that he's an alcoholic or anything like that. It's just the fact is what it boils down to is all the other points where he could have a drink are when they're working on the case, and he's a professional. He's an absolute outright professional, and you get the feeling that before his wife left him, he probably did something really boring, like was an accountant or some shit like that. But then after that happened, he became that, and that's where he's focused. And he's just an incredibly focused guy. He's just managed to focus the rage that he has into something else, so he can go around being quite an affable kind of doopy-doopy-doo guy, because his rage is focused on, well, this is my living now. Rage is my living. I get to beat these guys up, and that's where all my rage goes, so I can pootle off and get, an entire crate of Yoo-hoo.
Yeah, oh, God, that was brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Gosling is the opposite. He's somebody who has, instead of taking his rage, everything like that, he's gone the opposite. He's just dived down a bottle, and he's quite happy being down the bottle.
And I love that the film barely judges him for it.
Yeah.
Like, I just it's not at like at the end of it, like Russell Crowe offers him a drink and he goes, no.
Yeah, the roles don't reverse. And the great thing is, as well, it does the thing that a lot of the time films don't do, in the fact that when he gets shit-faced, it has consequences. So when he gets drunk at that party, it has consequences.
But then it also has him going up to that girl and just going, I'm a cowboy. I just... It's having your cake and eating it, man. Yeah. I mean, it totally is.
It is. I was wet. It was slippy. Why? That's a question the mermaid.
Yeah. Yes. But I mean, it's also like there's an awful lot of references to other Shane Black films here. I mean, the whole the head or the gut thing.
Yep.
And the Russell Crowe trying to expand his vocabulary, the hitmen in Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, and obviously, like I kind of mentioned it earlier, but Angourie Rice is kind of a better version of Danielle Harris. There's a lot of that stuff like all kind of melded together here, and it almost kind of feels like it's Shane Black having his last word on this type of thing, and maybe moving on and doing something else. I mean, obviously he's got Doc Savage coming up, he's got the Predator coming up, so
but I'd like after those to get another one of these.
Yeah, no, so would I. But I'm kind of like, if this is his farewell,
they're a trilogy, aren't they? Almost. You could almost look at them as like an unofficial fucking trilogy.
Sure.
In the Last Boy Scout.
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang
and the Nice Guys.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, no, absolutely. I could see that. And I mean, like, even to the fact that one of them takes place in the 90s, one of them, the 70s, one of them takes place in the 90s, one of them takes place in the noughties.
Yeah.
I mean, once the 80s one, maybe Lethal Weapon. It kind of feels like he's got his decades. I mean, like, could we go like 50s and actually go just straight noir, or could we just go modern? I would happily murder most of the people listening to this podcast for a Kiss Kiss Bang Bang 2, or even a Nice Guys 2.
I would love a Nice Guys 2. Because I'd watch the continuing adventures of these guys. The bit where they had, sorry, they made you look Filipino. Oh, God. It was just fantastic. It was just great. This movie, all it is trying to do is make you have a good time, and you do. Gosling is fantastic because a criticism of Gosling and a criticism that he had of himself was for a while that he maybe took himself a little bit too serious.
Yeah,
and with this, he's not. He's not. From literally the first interaction with Russell Crowe, where he says, "Now give me your arm," and he's like, "No."
No.
And the fact that he's not trying to be suave or cool, he's just a dick.
Yeah, I mean, God, the bit where he finds the body and he's trying to attract Russell Crowe's but I like the kind of the quiet screaming. like there was only a few of us in my cinema, but every single person was pissing themselves. You know, I've got to say, there was a couple that left about 20 minutes before the end. It was like, what the?
Why?
How does that happen?
Yeah, it is. It's almost like you, as they walked out, you go, do you know what? I feel sorry for you.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for you that you can't enjoy this. That you have the sense and the smarts to come and watch this, but you don't have the sense and the smarts to enjoy it.
I can't help it. Maybe it was, I don't know, like they were expecting Ryan Gosling Pretty Boy or something. I don't know. I mean, maybe, but I don't know how you stop watching it. I don't. I mean, like the plot again is convoluted, but it does make sense, and you are kind of trying to figure out what exactly is going on through a lot of it. I mean, I love the whole "How do you like my car, big boy?" thing, which is like the first line of the film, and how that actually like ties into the plot by the end.
Yeah,
you know, I mean that's great. That's the thing. I mean, it's a good plot. Kim Basinger is maybe slightly wooden, but then again, her character is kind of playing a role.
Yeah.
So I think that could be comfortably.
She's perfectly cast in the fact that that's what you get from Kim Basinger now.
Yeah.
She can't really move that many functions on her face.
Yeah.
She constantly looks like she literally, like if you left her in that seat without anybody to talk to or anyone that's talking to her for more than 7 minutes, she'd fall asleep.
Yeah. Exactly. So, things like that. I mean, the girl who's at the heart of it, like the fact that she's actually a bit of a dick.
Yeah.
You know, I quite like that. Like, the only person who is genuinely straight up likable in this is really Angry Rice. Everybody else has an element. I mean, like Ryan Gosling is a pretty terrible father. Even though I like the way that at the end, no, he hasn't fixed his drinking. But you've got a feeling that essentially Russell Crowe's character will slap the shit out of him if it did get too far. Like, she's got a protective net now.
Yeah, she's got. Yeah, he is going to be essentially like the surrogate dad, and Ryan Gosling. You know, he's going to be the protective uncle. Essentially,
yeah, exactly.
And will stay Gosling. Like you say, like if he gets a little bit out of hand, he'll get a slap. But yeah, it's a. There's just some great moments in it. Matt Bomber throwing a child through a window is fantastic.
Oh my god, yeah.
I almost stood up and clapped.
God, I forgot about that.
Oh, and the great moment of why are you even here? Oh, my sister's got a boyfriend round. God, your sister's such a slut.
Yeah.
You know, and the weird thing is I have said virtually that to one of Isabel's friends. But you know, when something slips out, and it kind of slipped out where Isabel said that she couldn't stay at a friend's house because her sister was having somebody around, and I went, "Oh my god, that girl's such a slut." And Isabel was like, "What?" I was like, "Nothing."
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean? She said, "Nothing." No, man, I didn't say anything.
I would have been. Maybe I'll change my mind in like 10, 15 years, but God, I hope 15 years. But. Like, if Lottie ever, like, said anything like that, I'd probably be tempted just to say that to her and then see what happens.
Yeah.
And she'd be like, right, this is going to be an interesting experiment. Oh, she's a right slut, isn't she? And just see how that goes.
Yeah, just for clarification, the girl's sister is a slut, so...
No, fair enough. The thing is, I mean, like, Donna and I are pretty convinced that in 15 years' time they're going to be sentient vacuum cleaners having relationships with kids anyway, you know, the way technology's going at the moment. So, yeah, like, I'm probably going to have to, like, I don't know, like, meet her robotic boyfriend and make sure he's got antivirus installed and stuff. You know,
make sure it's McAfee, not Kaspersky.
Yeah, no, exactly. You know, like make sure he's renewed his Norton license. But yeah, no, that's fantastic. Good work. It is insanely entertaining from start to finish. Not once was I bored. I was annoyed when it finished.
Holy shit, Chet is Val Kilmer's son.
Which one? Oh, shit, really?
Yes.
Oh, and that just reminded me the kid talking about how he's got a big dick and like I like to see it, and then he ends the scene calling them gay.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
It's the fact that the start of the next scene is Gosling going, "Do you want to see my dick?"
Yeah. God, that was amazing.
I was in bits laughing at that.
I mean, that kid was perfectly cast as well. He just seemed like a scuzzy little flea bag who would come out for shit like that.
Yeah.
God, my God, man, I forgot about that. But I don't know. It just, there's wonderful stuff happening constantly in this. I mean, like Russell Crowe, when he's trying to stop the blue-faced guy from opening the bag that gets all the and he's like, no, seriously, I'm holding that for a friend. Like, and it's just like, I don't know why you're angry at me, you know. And he's like, who is this guy? You know, I thought I spoke to professionals. Yeah, Keith David.
Just kind of shrugging his shoulders and going like that. Yeah, and he's like, why you did it with the fish?
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, like the fact that, but then Russell Crowe is like, you know, you've made an enemy.
Yeah.
And I mean, it really does come back on that. I mean, like, straight up, he fucking murders him, you know, in a pretty cold-blooded way, you know, and fair play.
Yeah, you can't blame him because the blue-faced guy is a dick. I love the fact that he's credited as Blueface.
Yeah. I just the fact that like Matt Bomer is basically saved by the empathy of a 13-year-old girl, but the fact that Russell Crowe says to him, just remember your life was saved by the kindness of a 13-year-old girl, whatever that line is, and you know that character will be forever haunted by that.
Yeah.
Because he obviously likes having power over other people and whatnot, you know. It just like things like that. And Matt Bomer plays that really well as well. Like the whole kind of like he could be the nicest, most suave guy on the planet, or he could be an absolute psychopath.
Yeah. And he does that fantastically well. I love the fact that the kid works out really quickly as well. It shows, you know, it doesn't kind of... It portrays her as being as smart as she's supposed to be. The fact that, you know, he's barely got in the house and already she thinks,
Yeah, like the only reason why he gets one over on her is because he's physically stronger.
Yeah.
That's it. Mentally, she's his equal there. That's very well done. But I mean, I don't know, man. I genuinely, I don't have a criticism. I really don't.
I don't. The interaction between Ryan Gosling and Tally is fantastic as well. Yeah, the Costa. He's become so infatuated that he can't see any bad in her, and even when she's tried to kill them. And then she's been knocked out, he still puts a cushion under her head.
Yeah. No, that's great.
It's just, it's magnificent for that bit. And you know, I don't know why he wanted to come along, but he did.
Yeah. No, I
want to watch it again now.
So do I. I could see us doing a commentary later in the year.
For it. Yes, I think we've got to, because I think it would lend itself so well. It's glorious. It's such a wonderful film to watch.
Oh, God, just Ryan Gosling drunk in this film is how I want to be when I'm drunk.
Yeah, it is, because he manages to pull it off.
I'm a cowboy. The fact that that's his opening line with that girl.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, man.
Also, as well, when he's down there and the guy's... Before he notices the guy and he sees the girl and he sort of looks at her with this... Yeah. And points at her.
Oh, and her reaction as well, when she's like really impressed and it just gets distracted and walks off.
Yeah, it's with him, you can almost see him thinking... And it's in the tip of his brain to go, that's the girl I'm looking for, but he just can't quite get there.
Oh, God, yeah.
The bit where he actually shows that he's actually quite smart and quite a kick-ass detective.
Oh. And
it works out that it's wrong. His face in the car as they're coming back.
Because I was thinking, in that moment, I mean, Shane, he properly outsmarted me, because I was thinking, why would that person be writing it in the English date and time the wrong way round? That doesn't make any sense. And then it turns out, no, he's wrong.
He's wrong.
And it's like, oh, do you know what?
Yeah, well done. Yeah, it's a bluff within a bluff, but it's just his face well, there used to be a curfew. There still should be, if you ask me.
Yeah, no. I mean, but the fact that, like, before the scene where it's revealed he's wrong, Angry Rice looks really pleased that he actually got one right.
Yeah.
And then 10 seconds later, I just... But then he kind of works it out after, but kind of.
Yeah, you get the feeling that
with the airport hotel thing,
when he was a proper detective, he was probably actually, when he was a police officer, he was probably really fucking good. It's just he's too far gone now.
Yeah. It's too good. I don't know. I mean, Fury Road was my film of last year, but I would probably watch The Nice Guys twice or thrice before I'd watch Fury Road again. That's kind of how I feel about The Nice Guys.
I will watch this film at least 2 more times before the year's out.
Yeah, I'd like it. Obviously, I would not change this situation, but if we didn't have Lottie, I'd go and see it again this week.
Yeah, I would be tempted to. For instance, let's say if I finish work early on like Thursday or Friday of this week, which is a mild possibility, I could see myself going shower and cinema.
Yeah, I mean,
actually, do you know what? I could go Friday night and watch it.
Oh, there you go.
And I could, but then again, I'll be going to see whatever we're covering next week instead.
Well. Definitely not shit.
Definitely not shit. Absolutely recommend people should absolutely go. If you're thinking about going to see it, you should go and see it because you're going to like it.
Yep. Now, absolutely. Now, speaking about Friday, there is barely anything out next week that's actually playing wide, and I'm actually going to be in Spain.
Oh.
But a film that I know you've seen is out, which I can get to, The Boss.
The Boss, yes.
So I'm more than happy to do The Boss next week. I know it's slightly also ran, but we're also going to have quite a bit of what we watch to catch up on. So
yeah. I think there's enough in The Boss, to be honest, to talk about.
Cool. Okay, so we'll cover The Boss now. Twitter questions.
I think we have one. It was actually only put out there quite late, so yeah. We'll forgive you for this time. Oh no, we have 2. Sorry. TGB73. What is your favourite shaped pasta?
Penne.
I am if it's a shaped one, I am a fusilli guy.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, that would be my second choice, but I like my penne.
Yeah.
Penne is shit. Yeah.
If it's shit, if it's not and it's all pasta, I always go for. I quite like linguine. And also, do you go dried or do you go fresh?
Where I can, fresh.
Yeah.
But I don't do that often because it's quite expensive compared to dried.
Yeah, I've become a total fucking snob with it now, and I'm like, I'm not buying dried. Beck's like,
yes, you
tastes
fucking are.
virtually the same. I'm like, I'm not doing it. I prefer to not have out. I've got that bad with it. Right, Rich Kid at Rich J Kid. Crow and Gosling was not a pairing I would have put together. What other unlikely comedic duos have produced great laughs? Charles Grodin and Robert De Niro?
Yeah, shit, that's the bloody quintessential right there.
Yeah, that is, because they just play off each other and patter off each other, so...
There's no better answer.
Fantastically well with that. I mean, I'm sure there's ones out there, but that's the one where it's, there you go. The fact is that apparently when they first met, they didn't like each other. And going into the movie, Martin Brest was really worried because De Niro and Charles Grodin didn't get on. And then apparently during the first scene they were shooting together, it was the first scene they'd shot together. Was the scene where De Niro stood in the bath and the dog's barking at him.
Yeah, sure.
And Charles Grodin opens the door and the dog's just barking.
Mm.
Charles Grodin opened the door and then closed the door again and just left it. And De Niro sort of stood, and then he opened it again, looked at him and went, "Are you alright?" And De Niro went, "Yeah." And he went, all right, and closed the door again.
That's pretty solid.
And then he went, I opened the door, went, you having fun? He's like, no, I've got a dog back. And as he said it, he closed the door again. And then De Niro probably just burst out laughing, and from then on, they got on like a house on fire.
Nice.
So yeah, that is the one that I'd say there. Although a peculiar duo did two movies together that not necessarily you wouldn't think went together, but did two movies together that weren't great movies that I really, really enjoy watching. Have you ever seen the Stakeout movies?
Yes.
Stakeout and Another Stakeout.
Yes.
With Emilio Estevez and
Dreyfus. Yeah, that's not a bad shout.
I actually really enjoy both of those movies. And
this kind of shit is your wheelhouse, in fairness, though.
Yes, yeah, it is, to be honest, more of mine, yeah. But yeah, the quintessential one is De Niro and Grodin in Midnight Run.
That's just the correct answer.
But Crowe and Gosling are up there in terms of chemistry and everything like that for how much you just watch them and you go, I could watch another one of those right now. If I went out and I could urinate, grab myself a refreshment and come back in, I'd watch another film. It doesn't even need to be that film. It could be anything.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and that's gonna do it. I think, that was what, an hour and a half. That'll do.
Yeah, hour and a half on Blaxploitation.
Yeah. So the fucking solid week of film watching. In fairness.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, we recorded on Thursday, so it's only been like 4 days since we last recorded, and all I watched is Shane Black movies. It's been great.
Oh man, I watched. I think I watched 4 films on Saturday. But I'll talk about some stuff next week.
I think I'm going to watch Lethal Weapon tonight, so...
Nice. I don't know what I'm going to do. I kind of actually have an itching to play Star Wars Battlefront, so I think I'm going to do that.
Yeah, I think I'm going to watch... What is it? I think I'm going to watch Lethal Weapon.
That's a good choice, fair play.
I also was slightly tipsy on Saturday night, bought a fire pit at 11:30 at night.
Pretty solid.
10 at night at Mazda, and assembled a fire pit, and then proceeded to have a fire.
That's good.
It was fun.
That's good.
Yeah, it was amusing, also, to say the least. It was a big fire as well.
TL.
I was looking at going, that's going to fucking burn out, that is. I better do something. I'll have another beer, that'll make it better.
What a life.
Oh, yes.
So we'll do some pan-European podcasting next week, and oh god, fucking right. Let's have a look at how hot it's going to be.
Oh, it's going to be so warm for you.
God,
it's going to be so warm.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 30 degrees. Oh,
when do you go then?
Saturday.
Oh, it's going to be so warm. Warm weather,
mate. All I'm going to do, it's the Euros.
Yep.
And it's E3 next week. So I'm just going to be in, like, the girls are going to be outside and Lottie's going to be playing with my mum. I'm going to be in mum's apartment, drinking beer and alternating between video game conferences, studying for my financial exams and video game conferences and watching films.
Sounds like bliss.
That's all I'm fucking doing, I swear. It's going to be too hot. 30 degrees, no.
Yeah, especially for somebody who doesn't like the warm.
I don't like the warm. I literally elected to go this week because of E3 and because of the Euros.
It's a good week to go then. Because you've got 3 games a day.
I can't believe I got the England-Wales game day off.
I know, coming from, especially it's a 2 o'clock kickoff, isn't it?
It's a 2 o'clock kickoff in the UK, and I work in Cardiff.
Mm.
How? I don't know, but
look,
fucking right. Anyway,
probably because you didn't try and book the day off. You booked the week off.
I just booked the week off before any other motherfuckers got there. So yeah, no, good. Anyway, that's boring for people. We'll speak to you guys next week.
Yes, thank you very much for listening, guys.
Bye.